Alright, Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to begin this lesson by giving all glory, all honor, and all praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Mercha Kodash, giving double honors, double unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, surely do well. To the men standing by the highways and byways, pushing this doctrine, I can say Shalom. And we run unto the sincere awkward sisters who sit listening to these lessons in silence, subjection, and obedience unto their husbands. I'd like to say Shalom. Right, there's a brother here, Mashallah, coming back to you again to another bit of edification from the heroes of Yahushai camp. Lord's willing, this lesson is edifying. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Right, so I wanted to do a video, based off of a popular saying, another popular one, right? Me and my two brothers already did one. It's a popular idiom, a popular proverb that has become famous over here, in these West Indies, the Caribbean, which is, laugh and cry does live in the same house. Right, it's a popular saying where we live. And this popular saying also came to me, I just, meditating on some scriptures and, it just hit me, this is something, a widespread saying in the earth, not just over here in the Caribbean, but you could go anywhere near it and you'll hear people saying this. Right, another popular idiom. What does it mean when someone says there's a silver lining? Let's get some biblical understanding on this. Right? When someone says there's a silver lining, they mean there is a hopeful, positive, or comforting aspect hidden inside an otherwise difficult or unfortunate situation. Right, the phrase comes from the idiom, every cloud has a silver lining, referring to how the sun's light creates a bright silver edge behind dark, gloomy clouds. Common examples, people often use this phrase to find optimism during setbacks or to help someone reframe a tough situation, right? Job loss, losing my job was stressful, but the silver lining is that it finally gave me the push I needed to start my own business. Cancelled plans, it's a shame our weekend trip got rained out, but the silver lining is that we got to catch up on rest and spend quality time together. Going through this breakup is heartbreaking, but the silver lining is that I am rediscovering my own hobbies and independence. For a deeper dive into how people use this expression or similar proverbs, you can check out the Cambridge Dictionary page on the idiom. Is there a silver lining in the scriptures? Yes, because we know we must suffer great things coming into this. Right? I'm going to first get the precept here. Right, this is the book. Just now, if you bear with me. Right. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 20, and verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. Speaking of the elect, right, 144,000. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushai, and for the word of Yahweh, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Mashiach 1,000 years. So we know that turbulent and tribulation-filled times are heading towards the earth. This is Revelation 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, but because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So we know what days full of trouble are heading towards the face of the planet Earth. This is Jeremiah 30 and reading from verse 4, especially for us Israelites. And these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Right, to the dark times. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands in his loins as a woman in travail? And all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So we understand that what there are tribulation-filled times and tribulation-filled days that are upon us, and it is heading and it is coming fast, right? But what there is a silver lining, right? And I start here in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, and reading from verse 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken from misery, right? They believe that we are sorrowful, or that we would hate to die, but again, we already dead, right? Colossians 3 and 3, for ye are dead, and your life is hidden in the Mashiach. Even when you go to the book of, I believe it's 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 16 and 17, Apostle Paul would have written what? Then we that are alive and remain shall be gathered together with them in the clouds, right? And so shall we ever be with the Lord. Even if we die, where we going to end up, Lord willing, we endure until the end, and Lord willing, we are a part of the elect. Is what? We're going to end up with the Lord, Yahweh Shai, right? So, again, even if we die, even if we martyr, even if we suffer straight things, and straight as in STRAIT, tough times, right? There's a silver lining. We're going to be with the Lord in the end, right? And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace again. Think Job chapter 3. Right? Job cursed the day he was born, right? Because he understood what the spirit world was like, what the afterlife was like. It was definitely better than being alive, right? For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. Again, a big part of the silver lining is the mindset we have to be in or carry out in this thing, is that what the things that we hope for at the end of all of this, we're going to see and we're going to get. Lord willing, we are part of the elect. And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahweh proved them and found them worthy for himself. Right, as gold in the furnace had he tried them, so he put us through tough and turbulent times, and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. Again, the silver lining, there's an end of the tribulation. There's something waiting on the other side for us, right? This is book of 2 Ezra, chapter 2. I'm going to read verse 38. Arise and stand. Behold, a number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord, which are departed from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of Yahweh. Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white. Revelation 7, right? The elect, which have fulfilled the law of Yahweh, which is what they did, what was commanded of them to do. The believing men, women, and children believed, and the prophets prophesied, right? I'm going to jump down here to verse 44. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? Who are these people he's seeing? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, right, gotten rid of the slave mindset, right? As the saying goes, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, and they adopted the kingly mindset needed to endure in this thing, right? And put on the immortal, right, that kingly mindset, and have confessed the name of power, and now are they crowned and receive palms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowned them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of God, Yahweh Shai, whom they have confessed in the world. So they admitted he was the Son of God, and they recognized him, and they recognized the true name of his Father and the true name of him. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of Yahweh thy power thou hast seen. Right? Going on to the book of 2 Ezra 7 and reading from verse 1, it's showing us here Ezra is going to show us in this chapter here the things that we need to go through to get to the other side, right? To see the silver lining, right? Ultimately, these scriptures provided to us here are a silver lining, right? Because although we know all these things we know we go through in the earth going to be tough to go through, we know what is on the other side, right? And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the night before. And he said unto me, Up, Esdras, hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? So if you're not ready to suffer the things that on this path to reach the end, how you're going to reach the end? The entrance thereof is narrow, and it's set in a dangerous place to fall, as if there were fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. Right? So again, this is your own walk. Right? As Apostle Paul would have said, work out your own salvation in fear and trembling. You have to walk this walk. Nobody could walk it for you. Right? If this city now, New Jerusalem, right, the kingdom and dominion, were given unto a man for an inheritance, right? Remember, there is a portion of the nation of Israel, speaking of the elect, Yahushua, the 144,000, the rest of the believing men, women, and children, right, who are set to inherit everything that is for the nation of Israel. Ultimately, we know that the whole nation of Israel, by and large, including the rebels and the two-thirds, the ones who believe not, will see the salvation as well. And when I say see the salvation, I mean like the immortality, right? They're going to be immortal. They're going to be born into the kingdom, and they're going to have the dominion and authority over these nations. But who are the ones that are set to inherit it, right? If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? And I said, It is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, Even so also is Israel's portion. And again, we know there is an Israel of God. Galatians 6:16. The portion, lot, and basically the right of the elect is to go through these things to then inherit the kingdom. Right? Because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that is now done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow. So not just any and anybody could get in now. Right? Full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. And this life is very painful. And what it only gonna amp up coming to the end again. Yahushua is coming at the end. 1 Corinthians 15, you're gonna go from verse 22 to 26, it talks about then come at the end when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to Yahweh, even the Father, right? So we understand that Yahushua is coming at the end. When he returns, it's the end of Esau's world. But what Matthew 24 says is immediately after the tribulation of those days shall they see the Son of Man coming in heaven with power and great glory. So Yahushua is only going to come after the tribulation is in full sway and it's getting to the height of it. Right? When Esau has marked everybody who was set to get marked, and the elect are just with a hair's breadth away from escaping the nuclear destruction when those nukes are shot at America, then is Yahushua going to appear and gather his elect. Right? Full of perils and very painful, for the entrances of the elder world were made wide and sure and brought immortal fruit. Right? So we understand again the silver lining. There's something at the end of all this tribulation, struggle, and anguish that we are set to go through, especially if we believe. Right? 2 Ezra 8, I'm going to go to verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the earth, because they have walked in great pride. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee, which we know Ezra was an elect man. right? He is an elect man. And again, he's here today in these last days, right? For unto you is paradise open, the elect. The tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteous is made ready, its city is builded, rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you, weakness and moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end is shewed the treasure of immortality. I can't remember which elder did the lesson, but there's a lesson done recently, could have been this month, last month, in which the title of the lesson was titled, We Get Our Reward on the Back End. Right? Lord willing, we are to be rewarded for all this work that we have done and for all the straits and struggle that we went through. Lord willing, we are part of the elect. There's something to gain at the end of all of this. There is a silver lining, right? There's rewards, right? Go into wisdom of, no, we read this already. Did we? Right? There's the book now of Matthew 5 and verse 1, because again, Yahushua explained this to us, right? We know we have to suffer, just as he did in Matthew 5 from verse 1. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Right, so he's basically explaining to you the silver lining. Yeah, you're going to go through shit, but at the end there's something. So what the poor, they will inherit the kingdom of heaven, poor in spirit. Right? They that mourn, they shall be comforted. Whereas, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed, again, we saw this with King David. First Maccabees to David, for being merciful, obtained the throne of an everlasting kingdom. I hope that is all, that's said. Roughly paraphrasing, right? Matthew 5 and verse 8, Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see power. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of power. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake. Again, the tribulation and the things you must go through, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Again, there's a silver lining for all the shit that you're going to go through in this life. Right? The book of Acts 14 and verse 22. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of power. Right, we need to understand the mindset here that is needed again, because we know the tribulation is coming. Right, Acts 14:22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, that we must through much tribulation, like go into that word tribulation, see what it says. Right, it's from the Greek Strong's 2347, flip cis. Right, there, definition 1, a pressing together, pressure, metaphorically, oppression, affliction, tribulation, distress, and straits. Right, Strong's definition from the Greek 2346, pressure, literally or figuratively, afflicted or affliction, anguish, burdened, right? This is our burden the elect has to bear, persecution, tribulation, and trouble. Again, right? So we must, through much persecution, tribulation, and trouble, enter into the kingdom of power. And knowing that we must go through these things, what is the mindset that we are to adopt? Right? Belittle the tribulation. Don't think too much of it, and don't let it have any power over you. Why? Because there is a silver lining here. Right? Let's see. Right. Romans 18 and verse 17. Right? And if children, then heirs of power, Yahweh, and joint heirs with Mashiach Yahushai. if so be that we suffer with him, for he suffered before he got what it was rightfully his. Again, Philippians 2, John 17. Now, I went through shit in his last days on earth before what he was exalted to be the Lord of Lords and King of Kings. If so be that we suffer with him, right? And again, he is suffering with us in all their afflictions. I was afflicted, and what? Know ye that I am with you unto the ends of the earth. Again, Psalm 23 says, what? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear any evil. For what? For thou art with me. Right? So we know that in even another silver lining we could consider is that no matter what we're going through, Yahweh Shai is there to preserve us through it. Again, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation which shall come upon all them to come upon the earth to try them that dwell therein. Right? So we understand that what Yahweh Shai is going to be there with us, Lord willing, we be a part of the elect, and Lord willing, we work out that salvation. Right? It should be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. And there's a mindset here we have to have. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. And that is the mindset we as the elect suppose Salakia. Not making myself a part of a number. Salakia. I'm glad I catch myself there. We as the hopeful elect supposed to adopt in this life. If we hope to be a part of the elect, if we hope to be a part of that number that was sealed and shut up in 2nd Ezra chapter 2, but we need to reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the things which shall be revealed in us, right? When we should become and should inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Lord willing, we are a part of that number, right? Just want to read this real quick in some other translations, then I'll close. All right. Reading here in the BBE. I am of the opinion, so what? Let this mind be in you, which was also in Yahushai, right? Let this mind be in you, which was also in Paul. I am of the opinion that there is no comparison between the pain of this present time and the glory which we will see in the future, right? Easy English. During this time now, we have troubles and pain, but I am sure that these troubles are not really very important. But they are not really important because Yahweh has prepared much better things for us. He is keeping these great and good things for us. And when we think about these great things, our troubles now do not seem important. Right? Again, Psalms, I believe it's Psalms chapter 126, where it was Salakia, right? We were like them that dreamed. All these bad things, Lord willing, we be a part of the elect and we are awake to everlasting life. If you be martyred, or if you're able to live through that, I say able, if the Lord pulls you through that tribulation and that trouble, and you see the Lord burst the skies and burst the heavens, right? We're gonna see and we're gonna say, all these things we went through was really nothing, right? It's hard for we to see that now, and it's hard for we to, really believe that now going through it. But if we make it out on the end, the silver linings, that is what we can ultimately say. Everything we went through was nothing, and it was worth it, right? Reading ISV, for I consider the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed to us. Right? Right? WEB, for I consider the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which will be revealed toward us. And that is the mindset we are to adopt here. That is the silver lining, is that the glory which shall be revealed in the elect, Lord willing, we be a part of that number. All the shit we went through to be numbered among those saints was worth it in the end. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, and that you were edified. In closing, I like to say, Kal Halalim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Racha Kodash, to give double honors, double unto the apostles and elders of greatness, so no surely do rule well. Right, shalom to the elect. Right, this was your brother here, Mayasha Allah, from the Heralds of Yahweh Shai Camp. Till next time, I like to say, shalom. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.